All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you so much for attending. I figured out we'd start the morning with Don't Worry, Be Happy. I know it's been a rough few weeks going through 10 different sessions of SEO strategies. Sometimes I know it's easier to just shut the laptop than want to learn something that may be so far outside of your primary business or subject matter expertise. So I appreciate all of you attending. I appreciate you guys having gone through this series. This is an overview. So we've done 10 sessions surrounding SEO. Of course, we've thrown in some other things that are ancillary items to SEO, such as web design and so forth. And this is the review. So we're going to cover a lot of information in a short amount of time, but really this is just to make sure that you've got one point of reference for all of the different things that we've covered over the last 10 weeks. So again, I'm Jennifer Bagley with CI Web Group, and I'm excited to say, depending on when you're listening to this, we just launched our brand new website here at CI Web Group. Usually we get put on the back burner. It's a very simple site, so if you haven't had an opportunity to go check that out, please do. You can visit it at ciwebgroup.com. And you can easily go through who we are, what we do, our promise, some of our projects, contact us, and also our blog, some exclusive programs that we have, our reseller programs for all of our different vendors that utilize us as their wholesale house for doing web services. But if you haven't checked it out, definitely go do that. I'm going to show you how to get to this blog from the front page, since you guys may not have seen the site yet. So once you're on the home page of Google, simply click on, or excuse me, you have a CI Web Group, my Google. You're going to just simply click on blog. The post for today's article is the first post up here. It's Advanced SEO Review. So if you're searching the site, it's Advanced SEO Review. Otherwise, we'll just click on this, and that's going to take us to today's notes. So if you are taking notes, that's great. But you also have this as a reference point to be able to go through all the content. So first things first, we've talked a lot about mastering the basics for on-page SEO, and let's go ahead and cover these. So first and foremost, you guys, by now you should have WordPress SEO by Yoast installed on your websites, and we're going to go through really the 13 things that are important when it comes to SEO. Interesting and catchy title as the header one with your keywords at the beginning. So we've had trainings about front-loading key phrases. Remember, if I'm going to do a blog post, instead of, I'll use this for example, me saying 12-step roadmap, continuing education, advanced SEO review, our key phrase for this is advanced SEO review or advanced SEO. So we're going to front load this, put it in the front of your posts. Next, creating the proper, actually, let me back up real quick, just in case you're new. Header 1 versus header 2. If your website is built properly, then the primary title you put in your WordPress is going to be your H1 or header 1 tag. That's right here. And your secondary, you want to make this your H2 tag, and any other subsequent headings your H3 tags. You can do that very easily. Let me just, I'm going to hit edit post so I can show you where those functions are in case you might have missed that training. So if I wanted to make this my title, I'd highlight this, and here you have H1, which you really would never use an H1 if your website is built right, because your H1s are automatically created via your post title, which is right here, or page title. So page title automatically creates an H1 if it's built right. Secondarily, your H2 title is right here. You can drop this down. If you cannot, for some reason, see the second row of navigation, you have a little toggle or a toolbar toggle, say that 10 times. And so if you just click that, that's going to drop down your additional editing functions. And that's how you do your titles. So very simply put, let's go back to view post. All right, next thing is create a proper focus key phrase for your permalink. So this is very difficult to do in a training because everybody is at different stages. So depending what stage you are, my advice is going to be different. The best thing I can tell you is if you want to be focused on the proper strategy, make sure you've got a strategic SEO coach that you guys can call on, and you can set the criteria, what your objectives are, and you can set the proper tasks in the proper order at the right time. So I just got done having a meeting with a gentleman at Lou Zettler yesterday, one of our clients who is insurance, and he had an assistant come on, and they were starting off all with blog posts. However, when I reviewed the site, and did a full review with them, he needs to be backing up, and he needs to be working on his primary services first, secondary services second, then we need to get into FAQs, then we need to start worrying about blog posts. So really it's going to depend. Going to a presentation, listening to a speaker, and they start telling you content is king and blog is probably not the right way to go. So make sure anytime you're attending any kind of informational or educational training that you really understand that the presenter is going to have a difficult time telling you exactly what you need to do, because they don't have enough information to be able to give you that input over there. So schedule a consultation, go through a strategy session with them. Those strategy sessions that you have with your agency or your consultants or the company that's doing your SEO and so forth are extremely, extremely important. So always reach out and make sure and get those set. All right, next, mentioning your keywords or phrases every 100 words, making sure that the actual keywords is also included in your H2 tag. So you'll notice my H1 tag is Advanced SEO Review. My H2 tag is Advanced SEO Review. Also, throughout the content, you'll see the same thing. So you want to use that title throughout your content at least once every 100 words, and that's really as far as keyword density, what you need to be looking for. A blog post or a page text. Actually, let me not skip ahead. Okay, so next, backlinking to the inner posts and pages of your website and websites that are relevant. We had a lot of training on backlinking strategies. We talked about how to create referral partnerships, how to find industry experts, and be able to write articles that are about them to get them to re-reference or backlink back to that article, how to leverage your vendors or service providers or strategic partnerships to cross-promote each other's content and so forth, how to find industry leaders that have heavy followings, high page rank, and so forth, that you can get them to maybe write an article about your company and link to one of those interior pages. That's going to be critical. All right, next, optimize your photos for focused key phrases. So you guys want to make sure that each one of your images, and I don't know what's been done on this particular post, but let me just go in here and so this particular image, I'll show you how this is done. So I'm just going to click on this image. You're going to have alt text, which is right here. You'll notice the alt text is titled Advanced SEO Review. So this is your image, and that is your alt text. So let me go into Media Library. I'll pull this post back up, and I'm going to pick just a new image that was uploaded in here. And over here on the, let's see here. So here's my particular image. This has no alt text. So this is going to be landing page design for a book. So I would say this is landing page design for book sales. That's my focus key phrase for this. And I'm going to update this, and that way this image actually has a name, and I don't want it to say Sagi Khalif right up here. So let me just fix this, and I'm going to put a pipe in here, and I can just say Sagi Khalif. I know this just got uploaded a second ago. There we go, and I'll update this particular image. So now this image is optimized. So you want to make sure all of your images are optimized on your site. You don't want to upload these and have this be image 1, 2, 3 or Samsung picture 4, 5, 6 and so forth. All right, next. Becoming an expert using SEO by Yoast. So you have on-page SEO and off-page SEO. It's important that over time you become relatively fluent in on-page SEO. My guess is you're all outsourcing off-page SEO because that is a major pain and not something you want to make sure you focus on. What are the things that only you can do, and what are the things that anybody can do? You want to outsource everything that anybody can do, and you want to take it upon yourself to learn as much as possible to take care of those things that only you can do. So creating amazing content that is written based on your company's style, your company's personality, and so forth, is going to be something that only you can do. Outsourcing that is difficult. It can be done, but you're talking about using a real copywriter like Tammy Kling, and you're looking at around $300 a page to have somebody interview you, have a long conversation, and create that content, versus you doing it yourself. So 3 different types of content. One is you outsource it to an SEO writer. Maybe you pay $30, $50 a page, and the SEO writer is going to simply pull together content that's only based on Google's requirements. They're going to hand it off to you, ask you to personalize it, then post it. Second is you use a professional writer, which is something you would do for a press release or a book or your web content like About Us, our mission statement, homepage, and so forth. And that you're probably looking at between $250 and $350 per page, or you write it yourself. And bottom line, you got to have content. So as you are posting content, the more you understand how what you write impacts your results, the better you get. So learning to use the SEO by Yoast tool is important. Next, creating your focus key phrases or keywords. Keywords are going to be more what you do at the beginning of a project. As you grow into your website and you have the primary, the fundamentals, and the basics done, then you're going to move more into key phrases, and key phrases are going to be longer search terms. So initially, it's just primary search phrases, or excuse me, primary search keywords, and then it's going to move to phrases over time. Next, selecting your SEO title with your keywords at the beginning. We talked about that. That's front loading. Make sure those key phrases are at the very title. Yesterday when I was reviewing Lou's website, louzetler.com, he had one drop down that said services, and underneath services it said health. Actually, you know what? Jeff Poyer's even a better example. I wonder if I can get to his. Okay, so when I came here yesterday, I looked under personal insurance, and what he had was the word health, life, dental, vision, car, home. Actually, he had automobile, and then he had homeowners. I'm actually down here, they said homeowners and renters in the same area. So what I did with him is walk through every single page on the entire site and had him redo these. So this was health insurance. We redid the meta descriptions, the permalinks. Now his next goal, if you guys have been on training, is he's got to increase the volume of content on each one of these pages. He's got around 160, 175 words per page on each one of these. So first is just get it done. If you can only write 120 words to get the page up, that's great. Just know that this is a process. We have some clients, we just got off the phone with Goodman, which is a big partnership that we have, where we're their preferred vendor for over 30,000 different HVAC dealers for that manufacturer. And we had a conversation about startups. They have a lot of HVAC companies that don't have a website at all. And so they're nervous, you know, as far as them jumping in and spending $5,000 or $10,000 on a website, that scares them. So we really walk through the process on startup. What do you do if you're just getting going, or if your bandwidth or resources are limited? People typically have more time or more money. And if you're dealing with you have more time than money, then you're going to be in a startup position. So for example, you may start a website with home, about, 111 page for personal insurance, 1 for commercial, 1 for blog, 1 for contact. Then your next step is, let's break out personal insurance. So we're going to do health insurance, life insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance. Technically, you should have another one, renters insurance. The next thing would be creating your content and doing a small bit of optimization on that content. And at least those pages are there. Then secondarily, it would be expanding that content to get it to the 500 to 1,500 words and improving it by adding images and call to actions and so forth. So as you can see, the goal is you want to grow into your website. You should constantly be revamping and improving each one of those as well. All right, let's move back here. Next, creating your meta description. Your meta description is the information that shows on Google. So let's see here. Let me go in. I'm just going to pull this one up real quick since I happen to be on his post already. So here's his piece of text he has here for the key phrase health insurance. Now, health insurance is one of the most competitive key phrases in the world. So is this a great page to be optimizing and spending a ton of time on? Only if it's supported by a tremendous amount of long tail key phrases that are used in a blog. So again, you want to start off with that. So here he's got 152 word count, and this is where you can monitor your word count. If you go down here, it's going to give you a snippet, and this snippet preview is exactly what's going to be shown on Google. So right here, if he was to change, let me just go grab this. If he was to change this snippet, our online health insurance quote form, you'll notice it's actually changing that snippet preview. So Google is going to see health insurance here, health insurance here. Now what we may do in the title is say health insurance, put a pipe here and say health insurance quotes. And depending on if it's too long, it's too long. Okay, so that's about all we've got. So you'll notice now it says health insurance quotes. And it's spelled wrong. That's interesting. Okay, so let me fix him. I just have to fix this while I'm in here. I know I could do this later, but let me fix this for him because that's going to drive me crazy. Okay, there. So we'll update this page. All right, back here, selecting your categories that make sense. So now we're talking about blogging. The other day when I was looking at blogs, I can't remember which site it was, but they had everything posted under news, media, gallery, and blog, which makes no sense. So for example, let's go into blog on this site. We'll open up blog. You'll notice, actually, let's go here. We're going to go to the dashboard. I'm going to open that up. And we're going to go under, let's go under posts, categories. These are your categories. So technically your categories should actually mirror your service pages. So if it's, if you look at, let me just shrink this a little bit. And then I'm going to pull this over here. And I'm going to click on what we do. So these are pages, right, that are under what we do. So we have what we do, who we serve, it's our giving back, digital marketing strategy, website development, search engine optimization. These are post categories, and you'll notice these pages line up exactly with these posts. So those are the first things you want to do. Is technically the services that you have under your pages should match identically to the categories. So if you sell a service, blank, we'll say social media marketing, my guess is you're going to be adding content that supports social media marketing, whether it's questions or FAQs or information or advice or how-tos or best ofs or different lists or comparisons and so forth. So choosing your categories is very important. If you have no post in that particular category, then it'll show up as a 0 and it's not going to show, nor will it be an asset. If you have the category and you do have posts into it, you can actually get your categories and tags to rank on a page 1, position 1 listing, even though it's not an interior post. So categories and tags are still important. All right, let's go back here. Next, let's see here, making sure your content is equal to or exceeds. Really, you want to be at 500 minimum, you guys. 1,500 would be fantastic, but you don't have to do it all at once. I want you to prioritize. I'd rather see you have you know, the bare minimum, the basics done, and then continue to go back and improve those pages. So it's no longer a time when you need to be adding content, pushing out content, pumping content. You need to be improving the quality of the content that you have on each one of your pages. So for here, we're doing the same thing. Please trust. I feel your pain as far as redoing our own website, because I was the client to my team, and so they were asking for content constantly, and this was my first shot, and I wrote the content myself. I had my partner Tammy Kling evaluate it, and then we'll continue to add content to those pages to make sure that they're optimized properly. Notice the URLs. the H1 titles, the H2 titles, and so forth as you're going through here. So just to kind of give you an idea. All right, next, I'm mentioning the keyword at the beginning of your copy. So you do want to make sure that somewhere in the body text, you've got your primary key phrase. So permalink, header, and somewhere in the front of your copy. Say what you need to say, but remember your content needs to be as if you were speaking to a 13-year-old, most specifically a 5th grader. So you really want to, and this was tough for me. I just took our old CI web group site, which was very, very technical, and had to rewrite every single page on the entire website to make sure that it was not so technical. So this is just an example. If you want to go look, you can see some of them we just got up to get them up, and we'll continue to improve those as well. All right. So this is written very, very, very different than our old website was. Our old website was extremely technical, and that technical jargon is actually going to pull your website back from people as well as from Google. All right, next. Even though you have amazing killer content, a tribe that will follow you anywhere, web contact from referrals, and your social media networks, all of this hoopla becomes stale if search engines can't find you. So basically this is talking about the infrastructure of your website. Unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to look at it, the infrastructure and the coding structure behind websites changes year over year over year over year. So if you have a website that's 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, built on Wix, Front Page, Yahoo Site Builder, GoDaddy Websites Tonight, Intuit's Website Builder, I can keep going, Dreamweaver, Front Page, if I didn't say those already. You guys, these are web template building systems that were built decades ago, and unfortunately they just don't perform now. Also, if you're in a WordPress and you've been in the same WordPress and you possibly use a theme that's 2, 3, or 4 years old, possibly even a year old, you got to know when that theme was built, and it's most likely time to get out of that and get into something new. The websites that we built 3 years ago, the kind of coding that is available today didn't even exist then. So it's something that my guess is your internet marketing, you plan on being your #1 source of new income outside of customer referrals. So that's got to be your primary investment, making sure you have the best of the best. We have a program called a refresh program, which many of our clients participate in. This is Air Care Systems. They're in this as well. Actually, she was laughing the other day. She has a huge, huge, huge website. This is probably between a $20,000 and $30,000 site when you look at the amount of custom coding and custom design, content, layout, optimization, and so forth. And that's just up front. And she's on a refresh program. The refresh program is great because she pays $100, $200 a month. I think something like that. And every 18 months, she gets a new website. So instead of forking over a huge amount of money getting on a refresh program where they're basically, that company is putting your dollars into an escrow account and you're reinvesting with the same company that originally built your website, is a very smart thing to do because they can use the same database, they can use the same content. All they're doing is basically ripping out the framework of your presentation layer, and that's the coding, the front end layer. They can keep all the back end, what's under the iceberg or under the water. If you're looking at an iceberg, that's the portion that they can keep intact, and then just rip out the front, give it a new face and so forth. But she was laughing because this is hundreds and hundreds of pages. She said, "Oh, it's so exciting. I can't wait to see what happens when you get to redo this in 18 months. Did we offer you that? So you want to make sure. There's a lot of things to making sure your site is crawlable. I was looking at an agency. They happen to be one of my agencies as a speaker agency, and they've got a site totally built in Wix and has very, very limited value. They're putting a tremendous amount of time in creating content, creating video, creating unique graphics. They're doing everything you need to do, but they're putting it in a machine. It's like taking Adrian Andretti and dropping him into a Pinto and saying, drive this car. You've got killer content, but it's in a horrible platform. And so making sure your platform is set up right is important. So first, make sure your site is crawlable. You don't want to be using tabular data. If you see things like table data, table row, table line, and so forth, then that's got to go. Flash obviously has to go. Make sure you submit a new XML site. So if you're managing your own SEO program, this is something you need to do. If you're outsourcing this is something your agency should be doing, is making sure that they're resubmitting your XML sitemaps to Google on a relatively regular basis, depending on the frequency of you adding new content to your site. So because we just launched this site, we have to resubmit all our XML sitemaps to all the different search engines, requesting that they reindex all of our pages and posts. And then we're starting from scratch on some of our optimization because we decided to change the direction of what we were doing. Next, putting in 301 redirects in place. 301 redirect is really taking one page or post and pointing it to another one. There are plugins you can install. So we had a client that installed a plugin. It was a calendar and event plugin. They installed it on their WordPress site. Luckily, they were on our SEO program. And when they installed that plugin, it created over 99,000 duplicate pages because of the permalink structure that was inside of that. So one small mistake, literally 99,000, they went from page 1, position 1 of Google on around 20 different key phrases to not in the top 40 or 50 results. And that's in the first 50 pages. So it was a significant impact on their business, but you've got to make sure somebody is monitoring your site, monitoring it for key phrases, for duplicate content and errors. And the reality is that errors are going to occur constantly. There are going to be things you do that cause errors. There are going to be things that other people do that cause errors. I'll give you just a quick example of one of them. So Crawl Diagnostics. Right here, here's an example. These are, this is our team measuring errors. So on this date, on August 17th, this particular client had, let's see here, they had 49,965 medium priority issues, 21 high priority issues. And watch what they did. They installed one plugin and went from 49,000 issues to 99,675 issues on their site. In a matter of about a week and a half, 2 weeks, we were able to get that down to 0 high priority issues, and now we have 162 medium priority issues. So search engine optimization is not just about, definitely it's not, well, I had content to myself, I'm doing all my SEO on my own. Absolutely not. There are so many different factors that impact your performance online, and some of it is defense. So we have to put in for every one of the pages that said duplicate content error, Google may consider a tag, a category, an event, a post title, a post type, maybe some specific index page that you used to have online, you recreated it, or you had a page that was one URL and you created the same URL, but it put a -2 after it, meaning it had the same post title. Every single error that's created just by doing what you probably don't know is causing the errors or issues, those have to be monitored and measured. So putting in 301 redirect so Google considers those the same page is important. All right, next, let's see here. Next, create a spreadsheet to monitor your progress. If you don't have an agency, you want to make sure you're monitoring it. So you want to know, what are the number of pages that have been indexed on your site? Are those pages indexed increasing? You want to monitor cache data in case there's cache data that needs to be checked, fixed, or re-ranked, or a 301 redirect. You want to monitor your page rank, your MOZ, your domain authority rank as well, and you want to monitor for errors. And errors is a big one. I can go site to site to site and find errors on everyone's websites, no matter whose website I look at. So it's just a matter of monitoring these. So these are errors that the client started off with, and these are us going in and fixing errors constantly, and it's part of an SEO plan. All right, next. Text your site before it goes live. Get things pointed correctly and test. So there's a lot of different there's a lot of different situations people have regarding going live with their website. There are some people that have it surrounded by a big launch, a lot of media. We're doing a big media campaign for that launch versus just a soft launch or a pre-launch where you want to get it live, you want to keep adding to it, but you're not actually going to announce that website, maybe it's brand new and it's not replacing one. So it depends on your situation, but really you want to do as much testing as you can before a site goes live. And then there are some issues that are only going to show up in a live environment. So you want to make sure immediately after that site goes live, you go through another round of tests, get that list into a support team or IT team and get those things fixed. So we've got fixing duplicate content errors, optimizing your RSS feeds, setting up your video sitemap. This will get your video content indexed much, much faster. We're going to talk about videos though, because those can be a big plus and a big drawback as well. If it makes sense, we're an international company, so we're in the process of installing Google Translate on our site as well. So if you have international business or you are an international company or you do business with a specific marketplace that you may need Spanish as a translator, then that would be important. Next, block malicious links to your site. Part of an SEO team's job is to review and analyze who's linking to you. And we're constantly blocking and monitoring those. So we may have a client, actually we had one recently that had over 35,000 bad backlinks to their site. It looked like a competitor may have went in, bought an off-page SEO plan for them, and so graciously given them over 30,000 poor backlinks that actually almost got their website blacklisted from Google. It was put on a gray list watch list. So it's important that part of your SEO team is also monitoring what are all the backlinks and removing backlinks that are negatively impacting your site. All right, next section is advanced SEO, site speed and performance. Site speed is critical. It's really, really important. So, and this is tough, you guys. This is just really tough. You want to design a website that's full of images and it's gorgeous and it looks good and it displays nice. And then on the flip side, you want it to be fast. So there's a lot of things you can do. So first, you want to track your page load time. I put this in here. You can use Google Analytics for that. Really, if you are a nerd, you're going to be going in here. You're going to be going into Inspect Element. And you're going to be looking at your network and resources when you load a page. It's going to tell you how long it took to load that page, and it's going to tell you in seconds. If there's anything that is an issue, it's going to give you exactly what those things are. So here's something to consider. If you're using a theme, a theme is going to have a bunch of junk code in it. Tons of style sheets, just junk code everywhere. If you have your site built just straight code based on a PSD design, then you're going to strip out all that garbage code. You're going to parse that out, and you're only going to use code that's necessary. So as you go through here, it's going to tell you as far as load time, you want to see a good load time. This is a good load time for pages. So these are great. Even in our projects area, which is heavy, this has got a lot of things in our project areas. It still has a good load time because this is a stripped code or stripped site. So it's not something, our old site was using an old theme, and it was murdering the time for page load. There's other things. Find large images that you can reduce the size of. So here's one we're working on page load time right now. For this particular project, this is horrible. So that took a long time to load. So lots of things are going on here. They have huge images. They have all of these images they wanted from the alarm.com site and so forth. So lots of images. So one of the first things that we did is we took all of their videos and we put them on an image with a play button. We moved those videos to an interior page. Still long load times. If you go through this site and you expect element on it, the thing that is taking the majority of resources, so if I go down here, I'm going to refresh this page, let it slowly refresh and load. what you'll see as this goes through is you can actually go through and see where the load times are taking the most amount of time. And it is these two containers right here. This is this Facebook container and this Twitter container. These are taking the longest amount of time. So we're redesigning the page. One, we're taking this place and using it for on-page content for optimization for the home page, and then we are doing a little bit of rearranging down here. But that is going to get rid of a lot of load time, and really fixing load time is just checking one thing at a time and figuring out what can you improve. So it may be reviewing images. There's that Facebook icon again. There's the Twitter icon. There's just a lot attached to these. So it may be images, as I've said here, or it may be replacing videos with overlay picture players. So you'll see, let's see here, what we do, what they say about us. So this is a heavy video page. These are all videos, but you'll notice this is actually just an image, not an actual video on the page. That will help. And if you click it, then it's going to pull it into a shadow box or an iframe, and it's going to pull it on top of the site. So that's where the actual video will play. So that's a way that you can improve your load time. Use a picture and then have that picture auto pull the video on top of that. That way it's not waiting for those videos and YouTube's API feeds to load before it goes. All right, let's see here. So next, some little things. If you guys are doing sites and so forth yourself, you want to make sure, well, first and foremost, WordPress is by far at this particular time the best content management system with the best optimization functionality and tools. You want to make sure that your file permissions are set up. You want to make sure there's no follow links on your commenting replies. If you guys are using just standard installs for our clients, we use Facebook SEO commenting, and we turn off WordPress commenting because WordPress commenting doesn't give you the same benefits. If somebody posts on Facebook's SEO commenting, then it automatically takes that comment and a URL to your website, and it posts it to their website or to their Facebook page. So that seems to be better. Another thing you can do is you can request or add a plugin called Smart Links that will help you do auto linking. I prefer to link myself versus use Smart Links because it requires a relatively significant amount of management to monitor Smart Links. But you guys, you can do linking yourself. Let me just open this up in another tab, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to do interior linking, which is important. You want, when somebody comes to your website, it to crawl page to page to page. So I'll go in here, edit post, and I will go find, let's see here, this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to take SEO right here. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to say insert link. Now down here, it gives me the ability to search for pages that are already in my site. So I'm going to say SEO, see what I have. I'm going to say search engine optimization. There's my page. So I can click on that particular page. It's already got my href title right here. And I'm going to do that insert there. That's the easiest way to link from post to post or page to page or page to post and vice versa within your own site. All right. So we went over site speed and performance, advanced SEO, making sure that you add smart links or interior page links. Next, SEO data, advanced data research. The cool thing about SEO is you get to play Mission Impossible, or more like possible. SEO allows you to play detective by learning how to pull the right information from Google to benefit your website to rank in traffic. So how do you find good linking opportunities? And for those of you that are more advanced, this is supposed to be an advanced course, figuring out trending as well as different topics. If you're listening on Twitter or you're listening for trending on any of the other social media sites, that's going to help you get ideas as far as what's happening in the media, what's happening in the news, what are some relevant articles, and so forth. All right, another thing is keyword research. So for those of you that are doing your own work instead of using an agency, you want to make sure you're looking at Bing's keyword research tool, using Google's Correlate tool. Check your ideas by location. Always make sure and try and get a geo search first, which is a location, versus starting off with a global search. So you want to build trust on Google. The best way to build trust is by narrowing it down and being page one, number one for specific geography-based search, and then continuing to improve and advance those. I'll give you some examples. So let's go in, actually that's fine, we'll just stick to this one. All right, so for this particular phrase, or this particular client, so if you look on here, this is measuring the number of key phrases that are being ranked. So you want to see these continuing to improve and increase, and you want to see these pockets growing. So here you have the original phrases. So you'll notice cohesive flexible bandage is the primary key phrase, but we want to get a page one position rank in a particular set of locations first, and then we can start, once you own page one position one for a handful of geolocations, if you are a global company or a national company, you can start pulling out and making some non-geo based key phrases next. So this is your rank, meaning page one position one, page one position one. So each one of these is going to be based on a specific area. Again, as you own those areas, you can start pulling those out. Notice over here to the right, these are actually categories that are being pulled up. So for this latex, S-mark bandages, or latex free, I should say, S-mark bandages, these pages are what's pulling in page one, position one for these as well. All right. Advanced SEO link building with content. So this is very important. I don't know how to really dive into this. Our goal, or your goal, should be to create amazing, unique, and relevant content that actually is interesting to people. So for example, this article, so I had to force myself into this. Please trust, it doesn't come naturally. So the way that I forced myself to come up with unique and powerful content is, number one, I have a training just like this. Every Tuesday, I do this training. So I committed that I would have a blog post done that basically is an outline of that training prior to every Tuesday. So number one, I have, that's how I forced myself to do it, is this is an outline of this particular training. Secondly, I want a recap of every training. So now it is taking this blog post plus the video that comes from the training, and it's creating a secondary blog post. So doing one webinar per week actually gives me 3 blog posts that we can optimize. One is we get the event post that says the event is coming and what we're going to be doing, and in just a general kind of overview. Secondly, we get the article that's going to be talked about in the webinar, like this one. And third, we get the recap that includes the video from the webinar. So that was my process for forcing ourselves to create content. There's lots of different ways you guys can generate content by seeing what your top competitors, or maybe not even competitors. Maybe it's the biggest company in your industry. I was always told in corporate, I moved up corporate very fast, but I was always told, if you want to be somewhere, walk 5 steps ahead. If you want to be a VP, act like a VP. If you want to be a director, act like a director, but do it now. Don't wait until you get the promotion to do that. So if you are a startup company and you want to become a small business, and I'm talking about money, the size of your company, if you're looking to be labeled financially as a small business instead of a startup or a solopreneur, then you want to walk like that next that next bracket. If you are a small business and you want to grow to be a mid-sized company, then you want to do what mid-sized companies are doing. If you're a mid-sized company and you're looking to become full-blown enterprise, then you want to make decisions and investments and spend time in the areas that those enterprise companies are doing, and so forth. So my recommendation is figure out who you want to be, where you want to be, and dedicate the time, energy, and investments to get there as quickly as possible. I promise you it doesn't happen on its own. So you've got to put time into it. All right, so next, advanced SEO research and verticals. You might conquer rankings in a universal search for your product or post, but what about photos? What about mobile? What about local? It's just not enough to be found on Google. So if I go, let's see here. This is something that people are looking for on a regular basis, is they're looking for niche SEO ideas. So it's not just about do I show up on a traditional search web? Do I show up? And I probably don't, because I don't remember optimizing any. Wow, never mind. Let me be quiet. So that's great. So we did optimize. I don't remember doing that. So it's probably my team fixing stuff behind me. But the very first, so not only do we show up for niche SEO ideas, we show up in a web search. So page 1, position 2. Also in an image search, position 1. Videos, I don't think, we actually have the video to this, but I don't think it was ever optimized. So what we need to do is have the video needs to show up next. And then if you can get into news articles, of course, you've got to have killer content to show up in an actual news search. That would be next. But basically, are you showing up for web, images, and videos, each individual post? So if you can imagine when you're trying to get found, and you guys can check it out. I'll look on my phone to see if I have the same ranking for a mobile search. But you can imagine, hang on, I'm typing actually because I do want to see now that we're here, niche SEO ideas. Go. Perfect. So it's page 1, position 2. Same here for a mobile search. So you guys, it's improve every single page. Keep improving it. Keep improving it. So first, get the content out there. Second, improve the content. Third, optimize your images and create custom images. So now that I know that the image from this page is a page 1, position 1, this is horrible. I would never use this image. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to have my team custom design me an image that maybe has our URL at the bottom or free training or something. But if you can get this image to show up as a page 1, position 1 image search, then you want that image to do something for you. So that's next. Then I'm going to optimize the video, because I'd love to have the video show up right here. If we have a perfect optimized video, then we have the text, we have the image, we have the post, and we have the video. So you want to keep growing, keep growing, keep growing, keep growing, keep improving. All right. Let me go back here. Let's see here. So making sure, one, your website is completely optimized for mobile devices. So what you want to see is this. You want your website to reshape itself on any search. Let me just go to the home page. You must have a mobile optimized website. What I don't want to do is I don't want to see us lose any portion of the site. So as we continue to go through, it's going to reshape the entire website into what would show up on a mobile phone. Clean, 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 mobile responsive site. It should shapeshift itself. And trust me, this our layout that we did here was not easy for mobile optimization, but guys did a great job on that. All right, let me move back down. So optimizing online slideshows. Slideshows are a great way, but remember, there's prioritization. If you don't have direct content on your pages and posts, don't worry about doing slideshows right now. If you're not using video, don't worry about slideshows right now. You can take slideshows. If you're going to create a slideshow, convert it into a YouTube video, you can get the best of both worlds. You can have content and an asset on a slideshow optimization. You can also have that slideshow be converted into a YouTube video. The YouTube video can be turned into a blog post. Boom, one asset becomes 5 or 6 different tools, and you can leverage them all on your social media sites. Next, drive traffic to your website with YouTube. YouTube is a huge, I think it's our number one referring website is our YouTube, but we have a video production department, so we're constantly creating videos. You can be too. Video is definitely a huge portion of your marketing strategy, so that's important. Local search techniques. The only thing I want to advise you of on a local search technique, be really careful of websites like Yelp. I try and stay away from any website that allows people to give reviews and doesn't help you if a negative review is slander, if it's bad, if it's from a competitor, if it's from an ex-employee. Easiest way to check and see, go to Google and type in that company. As soon as you type it in, you're going to see if there's any major issues. You want to stay away from things that can hurt you. It's not worth it. Having to rebrand because of one Yahoo that posts something negative, it's not fun. So number one, own as much real estate on Google as possible with as many of your URL handles as you can. And then 2, be careful of sites that be careful of sites that allow reviews. For those of you that are more advanced, installing Facebook Open Graph. Same thing with, there's different Twitter tools you can use. If you guys are on more of an aggressive Twitter program, just to show you kind of the way that we look at social media. I'm going to go under what we do, click on social media. Our clients are one of 2 things. You're either a protector, well, actually, they're one of 3. They're either not a participant or dibbling and dabbling and not using it properly. Or if they are leveraging our services, then we have 2 different programs. One is the protector and one is an aggressor. If you're a protector, then the only reason you're on social media is because you think you need a profile and because you're there to protect your most valuable asset, which is your customer referrals. So if somebody goes to your website and it's a referral, someone you met at a networking event or a client referred them to you, that's one situation. You've got to make sure that if somebody goes to your website and they're impressed, they're like, okay, this is nice, it's professional, I'm in. It came with the referral. And 2, I'm going to go over to their social media sites. I hope you have a professionally designed social media site and you have at least enough fans that somebody can say they've been in business for a while and other people trust them, and that you have some kind of content being posted on a regular basis. Even if it's not the best of the best, you've got content that's going out so somebody can say you're relative, you're current, and you're trusted. All right. Oh my gosh, I need water. Talk too long for too many hours, huh? Okay, the next one is a protector, the aggressor. This is somebody that's actually doing social media marketing to generate new business. This is a totally different process, totally different investment, totally different engagement level between you and your agency and so forth. So there's a big difference between someone who's just dibbling and dabbling and doing just the basics, making sure they've got content posted frequently, a professionally designed page, and they've got enough likes, fans, friends, or followers to look trusted and so forth. Next, detecting if you're more aggressive. This is more for our enterprise and mid-sized clients. You guys can tell if people are logged into social networks. Installing of Google badges, setting up your Google profile, Here's a link where you can go get your Google badges. If you don't have one and you guys are a current client, you can go grab your badge. If you want to create your Google Plus profile and your Google business page and you want us to connect it, just submit a ticket. I think everybody knows where to get that, but just in case, because this is new, right here it says help desk. If you just click on help desk, it's going to take you right here, and this is where you can submit a ticket. If you want us to take care of that, we'll take care of that for you at no charge. Just throw in a ticket and we'll knock that out. All right, link back to your website from Google Profiles, set it up as a contributor. Google's authorship program may be not as important anymore. However, it still is a contributing factor, so you want to make sure that's tied in. Let's see here. Okay, so we're just about out of time. I'll let you guys go through these in your own. Definitely look for natural language search. That's important. But kind of in a summary, once you get to a page 1, position 1 on Google, or I should say page 1, position 1 through 3, then you want to design custom landing pages to increase conversions, measure your results, and continue to invest in improvements. Meaning, when you're doing things right, you choose a handful of key phrases, you do what it's necessary, and your agency does what's necessary, then you continue to add them. What I did here is we pulled together the last 9 training sessions that were done that are supporting and have more and greater detail of all the areas that we've covered today. And we put links to them right here so you guys can access these all from one location. One of our strategies is to leverage 3 different websites for search. So we have jenniferbagley.com, 12steproadmap.com, and ciwebgroup.com now. That we post content to. So you may see articles that are posted on each one of those depending on what our goal is for that particular site. So just click on those. You have website design basics, how to write more content faster, and the quality of the content, niche SEO ideas, website design requirements for improved performance. We have a blog post quality review tool. We talked about how to create a blog, what the primary elements are of that blog, and how to improve its performance. We had a long training on organic versus PPC, so you can get that there. Landing page strategies to increase conversions, which is where we ended up here. Link building strategies and link building strategies through partnerships to improve ranking. You guys, the goal, let's do this. This is the time right now where investing in yourself, working on your business, not in your business, is very, very important. You've got to find time to do that, and you've got to make sure that you're continuing. If you have an agency, I promise you, pick up the phone and talk to them. Have strategy calls. You know, sometimes an agency may not call you because they feel like you might think it's a sales pitch. It's not about that. It's about having a strategic relationship with your agency where you can schedule strategy calls, make them positive, make them progressive, make them forward thinking. You know, usually an agency is going to have a help desk or something. If you have issues, put in your tickets and get the help desk people to fix all the little stuff. So get that stuff out of the way. There's a big difference when you're on the phone with a strategist who is paid extensively for strategy sessions with you know, people that they're meeting with, versus putting in help desk tickets. You want to make sure that you're trying to separate those. You want to make sure that you have the easy stuff, get that out of the way, and then that way when you're on a strategy call, make it just that. Spend your time talking about what can we do, what's performing, what can we get better results out of, what do we need to do, what are you going to do, what investments do we need to make, what do we need to change, and make that list. You know, you might start off with a list of 30 things. Pick 3, nail them, get back on a call. Pick 3, nail them, get back on a call. Hopefully in your business, you have this kind of as a process, right? This is what you do, is you look at your business, you research, you plan, you implement, you evaluate, and you change. You research, you plan, you implement, you evaluate, and you change. And the more that you do that, you will continue to see improved results in your business, accelerated results in your business. Now, the only thing I challenge you with is how do you do that in compressed time? How do you do it faster? And in our own business. I promise you we're in the same, our model and where our head is right now is compressed results, which means we've got to be able to do more in a shorter amount of time. And the only way to do that is to make explicitly good decisions on where we invest, where we spend our resources, where we spend our time, and to say no to everything else. So I hope that this is helpful. You guys, we're running up to the end of the hour. The video will be produced and out for you by tomorrow, and you'll be able to go check that out on 12steproadmap.com. If you have any questions or any ideas, okay, actually, I have a question. One was, what was the optimal length of video for SEO purposes? I wouldn't worry about the length of the video for SEO purposes. It's the title. The title of your video, your meta descriptions, your tags. Are you marketing the video? Does it have interest in it and so forth are going to be most important. So I would say you want to be around 2 minutes. I have videos that are 30 minutes. I have videos that are 1 hour that are performing very well. And I have videos that are 2 minutes that are performing well. So it depends on a whole bunch of factors. I think if you're asking I've got Scott on here, so Scott, if you want to chime in, it really depends on a lot of things. Sometimes it's personality, sometimes it's the tone of your voice, sometimes it's the look, sometimes it's the professionalism and quality of the video. Sometimes it's how it's optimized, the descriptions that you use. Sometimes it depends on the competition for that particular phrase that you have that video pegged to, and sometimes it's, do you market it? So it's not just about creating the asset, it's creating the asset and leveraging the asset. So you want to make sure and do both. And with that, you guys, let's we'll wrap up today. If you have specific things you want me to address in a training or you have questions, just jump on my personal Facebook page. You can leave me the question right on my wall. Those people who participate the most get the most. Those people who ask the best questions get the best answers. So I highly encourage you. Yesterday I had 2 calls, one with Jeff Poyer, one with Lou Zettler. Both of them called and asked for a strategy session. And in the middle of a 1-hour call, I got 16 pages and post created, optimized, and ready to go for them. In another one, I reprioritized their entire marketing strategy literally in one meeting. So you guys take advantage of that. Participate if you're interested, if you're a current client or not a current client and you're interested in a strategy call. This is what we do. This is what we love. Please take advantage of that. You can do that by going to ciwebgroup.com. Click on Contact Us. You can fill on the page on that, or you can fill out a free consultation right here. You guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and we will talk to you soon.